Hi, I'm Professor Jean Geib, Director of the Apparel Technology and Research Center here at California State Polytechnic University, Pomona. Seated beside me is Bob Lauder with Charles Gilbert Associates out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. And Bob is teaching all three of our individual courses on quality, to include the areas of cutting and everything related to the cutting room, and another one on sewing, and another one on the distribution center. And to give you a little better idea about what's in those classes, Bob and I are going to talk about it a little bit. And our conversations over the years have included such comments as quality is free. And what does that mean, Bob?
Well, what it means to me is if you do the job correctly the first time, then the quality didn't cost you anything extra. It came with it. If you make mistakes, if you don't correct them as soon as you find them, if you just let them pile up, then the cost of those things just keep piling up as well and build like mountains. So we always say that if you do the job correctly the first time, then quality is free. But if you don't, it really becomes expensive.
Now, we've actually divided the topic of quality into three parts because it's more than just doing that final inspection at the end of sewing and saying that, that final quality audit is all you need to really do for quality. So would you like to comment on that importance of how all those activities are related?
Well, don't want to minimize the need to know what your final product quality is. That's the outgoing thing, that's the grade. But quite frankly, too many companies put the emphasis at the end of the line after a piece of apparel or other sewn products are already assembled and to try and see what the quality level is. At that point, it's too late to do much, inexpensively anyway, about the problems that contributed to poor quality throughout the process. So what we try to do is get the same kind of emphasis back in the areas of cutting, even piece goods inspection before we cut it, cutting, then sewing, and then finally the finished product as well. Getting those emphasis or getting people to look at those areas as objectively in the beginning as they do at the end of the line ensures that everybody has a better chance of making better quality garments for less money.
I think sometimes when people think of that issue of doing quality audits, they think it has to be a very complicated, very detailed, very statistically analytical process that they feel somewhat overwhelmed by. And I know you've worked very diligently to come up with a very straightforward, rather simple process, especially to help people get going with quality quickly. And clearly you can expand that out to anything more that you'd like. But what's your general reaction from the different companies that you work with when they first look at what kind of a simple process it can be? Are they surprised? Are they thrilled?
Yeah. I think what Professor Geib's talking about is when we talk about single grades or single number grades for different areas of quality, and it can be a very simple process, and it needs to be a simple process to be understood by everyone and make it usable by everyone. It doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the more complicated these things are, the less chance there is that they're going to be followed and continued. And the idea of any of these programs is to get it set up and then continue it, because you want to always monitor what your quality levels are. You want to always monitor whether you're improving or not, and the simpler these things are, the better they are. People are usually pleasantly surprised that things can be simple. Sometimes we do get the doubter who believes something so simple can't be effective.
Well, I can attest that it does work. Okay, well, if you're interested in signing up for the course, there's a button at the bottom of the page.